It's only fair. It's only right.
Oh, that's
So you mean to tell us you want to kill us all, try to kill us off, exterminate us, and you ain't got nothing's gonna happen to you?
Who are you? Do you say
The Bible tells you, and we follow the Bible, which you don't. You don't follow the Bible.
Understand what he said when he say we?
He's a lower level one.
No, it's not
He's
just
a lower
black,
level
it's
one.
the 12
You're not tapped
tribes.
in, man.
I try to explain that to him, but he just don't get it.
You understand?
But he's supposed to be an
Abraham,
Israelite.
Isaac, and Jacob.
He the lower level one. He,
And these are the descendants.
Yes.
And it's broken up in the nationalities.
Yes.
For
I'm
example,
from the tribe of Naphtali.
you see these people right here? They go back to Elam. A lot of the Pakistanis go back to Carmania. You can say it on camera. We don't mind. We love it, actually. We love it. Your people go back to Carmania, right? Carmania, the Elamites, the East Indians. Persia, Parsa. All right? It was called Persia before 1935. Look it up. Look up the information. History major. Right? His people go back to Elam. His people go back to Elam. You're not my brother if you're not an Israelite.
All right.
Although we do have, we do have some of our people amongst you. The Dalits of India. The Dalit of India. Go ahead, read it. Read it. No, we don't. The Bible says, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Lift up your voice like a trumpet.
Why?
Because the Bible commands us to.
Why?
Because we're out here on the streets. That's why.
you can't be
We're
nice,
not
and you
soft
can't-
spoken like you people. The gods that you worship and follow,
Why you-
matter of fact, they don't even speak. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah.
You worship gods that don't even speak.
Do you think you?
Okay, God commands us to come out here and speak loud.
Read
Read it, keep
Are you
reading,
able to convince one person?
They don't know they're heathens. They're heathens. They don't know nothing.
Never.
They're over here.
And his woman is pulling him away.
Exactly.
And his woman is pulling him away.
Back in the day, Xerxes would have had his foot on that woman's neck. Meaning he would have had control over her. That's what I mean. Cry loud and spare not. We're out here on the streets. But meanwhile, you can have A to Z parades, LGBT parades, where everybody yelling, blow horn, but we can't speak the truth. The Bible says, keep not silent. We're not going to keep silent for nobody. God commands us to come out here. I can tell you're hurt, man. I can really tell you're hurt
No,
by
I'm not
looking
hurt.
at you.
I'm not hurt of it.
Because you came back. If they said the truth, just walk away.
I'm interested.
Somebody got a precept out.
Yeah, I got. What you got? You got something?
Yeah, I was gonna get this.
Come on,
Wait,
you got-
for
you got-
Lord. You can go.
So when did this?
Go ahead.
I want to ask you. You know the name
Get out of here,
Julius?
get
Do you know
out
the
of here,
name
get out
of
of here.
Julius Rosenwald?
Get out of
Do
here.
you know the name?
He's
You
an
know
Edomite. I
5,000
know
Rosenwald schools in the South? You know anything about that?
that.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So according to the Bible, you had to pay for the iniquity of your fathers. You inherited a curse because your forefathers did that to the children of Israel.
We didn't do this to the black world.
Let me read that
That
again.
isn't us.
The so-called white man, the white man didn't do this to our
The
people.
white man may did it.
But
They were
when we're
Southern.
telling you
They
that
were-
those fake Jews, the people that control America, go back to the people that did this to our people. That's what we're telling you. That fed us Christianity. That's what we're telling you. That gave us Islam. That's what we're telling you.
Who is this?
That's a form of oppression.
Right.
When you tell us that our Lord looks like this, you're oppressing us. Because you're trying to further us away from our God.
We don't
According
tell
to
you
the
what
Bible,
the Lord looks like.
God the Father and God the Son are dark-skinned men.
No, the Bible tells us
But he believes in
that his
Torah.
hair was as wool and his feet like bronze. That's a black man.
I think you're playing. I think you know more than
It's
you're
a-
letting on.
He's not being honest because
I
he's
think you know
cut.
more.
Y'all cut.
I think you know more than he's letting on.
So you saying the Bible don't talk about color? We can show you a plethora of Bible verses that speak about color. It's funny, man. These people got the nerves. You got these Arabs living in our land too. They don't even belong in Palestine. You know the Bible talks about that too. They have part of my land.
Pointing my land to their
Oh, you are. Bring it up.
Just read, remember?
God.
Ezekiel 36:5. Respect that. You got that.
I was holding that Joel.
Got a precept. Bring it up.
Okay, I'll bring out
But
this
let
one.
him. I'm saying if you got one.
Oh, no.
You can break down. Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Which is happening now. That's why there's so many influx of Israelites waking up. Kyrie Irving, you know he's an Israelite. Kanye West, you know he's an Israelite. Do you know that?
I don't know.
Bring that.
Verse
See,
2.
your people try to hide that from us. Hold, matter of fact, hold Isaiah 25:7. Read that.
Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Do you know your people are going to be involved in World War III? That's what that's talking about.
Right.
God is going to set you devils up, and he's doing it beautifully. He's setting the Russians, which are your people.
Wait a minute,
The
Russians are not our
Ukrainians are your people.
people. Not our
Yo, all
people.
Edomites.
The what? The Ishmaelites, the Arabs,
Yeah.
he's bringing together. Who else? The Edomites, the East Indians, he's bringing together.
Moab.
For you to, Moab, the Chinese, the Japanese, for you to blow yourselves up. That's a beautiful thing. Why not? That's beautiful.
And you
I
people
would like to know
always,
where
you
that-
people constantly inflame global tensions. You know, Israel has a history of passing on technology to China. They've been doing it for years. Israel passed on information to
up.
China.
I know.
Russia.
I know they sell things.
But then they work
I
with
know they sell
America. But
things.
then they work with America. So what do your people do?
Where does America
You're
get a lot of
warmongers.
its
The
defensive
people are warmongers.
equipment?
The point is that
It does it or
the
doesn't
point
it?
is that you're gonna blow yourselves up. That's what we're telling you. World War III is gonna be the last war that ended all. Einstein. You remember Einstein's
I
quote, do
certainly
you?
do.
What was it? Before he died, what was it?
I don't know what he said.
He quoted World War IV is gonna be fought with
Oh
stick-
yes,
with-
that's right. I know it. Yes.
Okay.
With sticks and stones.
Right, you know who put it in his mind to say that? God did.
Whoa.
The God that you don't know. God did.
Oh, I believe it's a God. I don't
He's
believe
very,
it involves in my
Einstein
life.
is very brilliant,
I don't
ain't he?
believe my
Okay.
life or your life.
Bring it out. I'll keep reading that.
How can you be
Hold on. Let the brother read.
I'm not going.
Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
So Israelites are scattered amongst the nations, meaning all over. What does scatter mean?
Yeah,
Here, they're okay.
Distribute.
And part of my land. You know what that's talking about? It's talking about the Israelites and the Arabs living on one part of the land and your people living on the other part of the land. There can never be peace in that land. There's wars all over. The Bible says there's no peace unto the wicked.
I agree with
your
you.
people have over 800 military bases throughout the whole world.
What?
What other country does that?
Prove it. Give me a
Oh
proof.
my goodness. Do
Give
we
me
gotta
some-
look on Google and prove it? Come on, don't get cute here.
No, I'm not
We
getting
can
cute.
easily go.
I think what he wants is proof that he's an Edomite.
That's what he wants.
He wants proof. He wants proof that he's.
And I've been to the Jewish Museum when I was there.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, I thought it was a very nice place to go. You know, I mean, I didn't run across any conflict when I was there. I was in Tel Aviv too, Haifa,
Yes.
Tiberias.
Tiberias, yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I was there back in June of 2007.
That's only if he's real good Israel. But he's appearing to us that he's an Israel. But if his bloodline goes back to people on the side, of course. But if he's an Israel, we ain't even get into that yet. But we can't, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, now, you know it's crazy. Since you mentioned Jewish, what does the word Jewish mean?
I know what it's the noun applied to.
It's a
It's an
suffix.
adjective.
It's a suffix.
Suffix.
Okay, in front of the word Jew. It means to pertain to. So if I say
You're very
you're
intelligent,
acting
by the
child,
way.
no, we're not. We're
Yes, you
nobody.
are.
No,
Yes,
we're
you
not.
are.
Don't say that. We don't take glory upon ourselves. We ain't nobody. Now, if I say he's acting childish,
Yes.
but he's a grown man acting
Yeah,
childish,
yes.
but does that mean he's a child?
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're
So when a question for you: when in ancient times did Israelites call themselves Jewish? When?
saying. Israelites?
The real Israelites.
No. They were called Judeans. They weren't
Okay, we're gonna drop that because you don't know.
That's Greek.
Okay?
Judean is Greek.
And also, matter of fact, I can even hit you deeper. Israelite is a Greek word. How would you say Israelite in Hebrew? Or Israel in Hebrew?
Oh, it's written in the Moabite inscription. I killed the king of the house of Israel. I killed the king of the house of David.
What language
And
was that? What language was that?
That's
Was it written in this
Paleo.
form? What's on the Moabite stone? What's on the Moabite stone? Paleo inscription. Look it up.
Yeah, it is. I have a copy upstairs.
Your people don't speak this language. That's what we're telling
No,
you.
Paleo Hebrew. We
You're
have
not
it
a
from
Jew,
the time of
man.
Isaiah, man.
How did the Jews look according to the Bible? Another question. How did the Jews look according to the Bible? Grab Jeremiah 14:2. Salakia, we were jumping all over the place, but Babaka Shah, Salakia, you know. So, God, so what the brother read before Joel, that your people parted that land. None of your people belong in that land. We could talk about 6-day wars. We could talk about prior to World War I, the Ottoman Empire, the Turks, which is your people. Oh, we could go into all of that, but grab 14:2. We're going to show you how the real Jews look according to the Bible.
Okay, what's that?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry
I'm
of
sorry, sir, can you
Jerusalem.
repeat it? I'm sorry. I got distracted.
I'll read it again.
Slowly, just.
I'll read it. Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
That says
the Babylonian destruction.
It says Jews or the Judah. Back during the time of the Babylonian Empire, the southern kingdom was known as Jews, as a collective whole.
Judea. And
As a Jews.
Not
Okay,
Jews.
Yahweh done as a
Judea.
collective whole. It ain't even the
Judea,
word Jew.
Judea.
All right? It says they're black unto the ground.
No, the city
Meaning
black.
dark skin.
No.
Your people have to wear black to
But say that,
conform
read that
to
again.
the.
I want to hear that
Your
again.
cut, man.
I got it right here.
I want to hear. He's talking about the destruction of the temple by the Babylonians in
No,
586.
no, I'm not.
No, he is.
So look,
Jeremiah.
this is the Hebrew word for that word black. The Hebrew word is called Hadar. Hadar.
That's Hebrew for dark.
But that wasn't what he was talking about.
It's-
No, this is Jeremiah chapter
I'm
14.
trying. I just want to.
This is the word black.
This is the word
Well,
black.
read the sentence again, please.
This guy just don't get it.
No, I got another precept for you.
Is
That's
Hebrew
not,
and Yiddish
he's talking
the
about the
same thing, or
destruction,
the language?
not about
It's a
people. He's
mixture of
talking about the
different-
destruction.
Well, anyway, for edification's sake, the
You're
Hadar
misinterpreting
means
it.
to be dark.
Okay, so
To be dark.
Are your people dark skinned? Are your people Negroes?
there are a lot of people in the
It
world.
says that the
Italians
Jews
are
are
dark
black.
skinned.
Well, a lot of them come from the Moors. You know that? They're Israelites. Yes. Okay, cool.
No, they don't.
You
I have
said
to
he
say-
said this
Oh
so
my
far.
goodness, man.
The Italians are dark, like he said, more.
Italians come from the Moors, especially the
The Moors
Sicilians.
were not in Italy.
The Moors were not in Italy.
Spain.
Oh my. Yo. Yeah, the Moors were all over the Mediterranean Sea. Don't get. Read it out. Oh, bring it out.
I
Bring
got
it
it.
out.
This is Songs of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black
The
and
real
calm.
Jews are dark skinned, right?
Songs of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black but calmly. O ye daughters of Jerusalem. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
As a test of keep dark. That's where you get the Hebrew word for dark, which is one of Israel's sons. The Arabs are dark skinned. But Solomon is saying here, he's like one of those dark, he's an Israelite for the tribe of Judah, and he's a dark skinned man, as a test of Kedar.
Songs of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 4.
Songs of Solomon.
Chapter 1 verse 5.
That's in the Tanakh, what you call the Tanakh.
Yeah, right.
I'll read it again. Songs of Solomon chapter 1 verse 5. I am black but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Gotta say that one.
So,
I
what
have
he
to
just
read
read,
that one. I have to read that
they're
one.
dark skinned.
I have to read it.
Your people don't fit that description.
A lot of them.
No, it says that the Jews will be taken on slave ships. Your people don't fit that description.
Who said the Jews would take
It says that the Israelites will be.
I got it right here. I grab it. See that?
Bring it out.
I got it.
The Hebrews were in slavery under the Egyptians, right?
In Egypt, the
Yep.
Egyptians were dark skinned, but read that. The Egypt, we'll get into all that. One thing at a time. There's a lot of things coming out. One
I've
thing
been
at a
to
time.
Egypt too.
Deuteronomy chapter 28
After a lot of
and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And around this time, Egypt was already destroyed. Okay, so now you have Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Right. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
That word for buy means no man shall save you or redeem you.
Can I see what?
Hold on, did you just hear what he just
I
said,
want to know
right?
what version of the Bible you're in.
No, we don't have what version of the Bible.
I told you already.
Now what
It's not-
version of the Bible?
Let's be real.
Come on, you can break it
can't
down
see the
too.
Bible.
All right, go ahead.
King
Break it down
James.
for everything.
No, it says that, but there's something else.
It's probably the English edition.
Deuteronomy 28:68. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And around this time, we already had left the Egypt captivity.
They had chips. Yes.
We already had left the Egypt captivity. Egypt was already destroyed around this time. So now you got to use spiritual discernment to understand what Egypt that's talking about. And that's talking about the Egypt according to Revelation chapter 11 and verse 7
Well,
or
we
verse
were
8.
quoting Deuteronomy.
Stop cutting them off. Break it down.
Con. So if you jump to the book of Exodus, I believe it's chapter 20, it talks about how Egypt is correlated with bondage and slavery. So that Egypt is not talking about actual Egypt, it's talking about being brought into slavery again by way of ships. No other nation of people went into slavery besides these people on that side.
I agree.
Through ships.
I agree.
So what?
So you agree?
I agree.
So who does it fit? Your people are ours.
Your people.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
not.
I want to
There you
mention too.
There you go. There you go. Now you learn it, bro.
I want to mention. I want to ask you something right now. In the news, right? You ever hear about the Igbo Jews? Igbo Jews, like in Nigeria, West Africa.
It's all
I know the
It's real, but it's true.
Ethiopian Jews.
all
No,
religion is
but you
fake.
ever
No
hear?
religion is
not a
false.
religion.
That's what you believe, man. You can have your opinion. It's a free country. I don't care,
What was
man.
that?
But you know about the Igbo Jews?
Is that it's all religions are fake. It's not a religion.
Con.
So I agree with that.
Yeah, we do. We do. We have law, statutes, and commandments to follow. That's our religion. Okay, that's our religion. Right? We do.
I was bringing out a point, right?
We
Your
have a lot
people,
of
they
them
acknowledge a
religions.
group of Jews,
That's
black
so
people that follow
that's so
Judaism,
quite
right, that are
uncomfortable.
dark skinned, right, brown skinned like us, called the Igbo Jews. And they've actually said that they are Jews.
I
They're
don't.
actually the real Jews. They'll say it. Amen.
I have no knowledge. I'm not saying it's not right. I just don't have any knowledge.
But you came up here like you know everything.
I know
Do those
something.
Ethiopians belong in that land? In Israel, do those Ethiopians belong there?
I know the Ethiopians. Very interesting. There's obviously the Ark of Covenant.
This is so real with it.
No. Do you know what do the Ethiopians belong in that land? I'm asking.
The ones.
That's the.
There are Ethiopians.
This is a Levite. This is a Levite.
No, that's,
The only way they can believe is that
Judah.
they're
This is,
really Israel. And the Ethiopians,
No, his
Ethiopians
clothes.
go back to him.
It's the but the Jews are those
They're not
the
Israelites.
priests,
Yeah,
the
you're right.
But they don't have salvation.
Southern
God
sons
didn't
of
go
Egypt.
for them.
I know, you're right.
Because you see in the
They're
scripture
not
it talks about
Israelites. They're going into
Christ
slavery too.
is like our high priest.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a high priest, so
wanna
that's
know-
just like a
They're
representation.
going into
The
slavery. The Bible doesn't have
the
good things to say
Levites
about the
made the
Ethiopians. The
atonement
people going
for
to
the people.
I mean,
So
they're going into
Jesus-
slavery. Those people.
And it talks about that in the book of Hebrews, right? Like how Yahushua, he died, he was giving up pretty much atonement for his people, for himself, for different sins that he did in his past lives.
Yeah, don't go deeper.
I don't want to get too deep, right? But basically for different sins he did in his past life.
And
sorrow.
Jesus is Judah, right?
Yes, he's
Yeah, well, his Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai because there's no letter J's in the Hebrew.
Right.
The letter J was invented in 1524 by Gian Giorgio Cecchino,
Yep.
which is during the time of the Renaissance when his people came back into power. That's what we're trying to tell them.
What Constantine time?
No. Constantine was an Israelite. He was a Roman emperor. Israelites started getting into like the Roman seat like around probably like it was actually before like 183 AD. God was
No.
because you had Israelites in the Roman army. Julius Alexander, what's that guy's name? Tiberius Alexander. He was an Israelite in the Roman army. Just like now, you got blacks and Latinos in the United States army. Right. Cornelius, he was an Israelite in the Roman army. But Israelites started taking seat. The Lord was raising us up to rule for 1,000 years, which happened during the time of the Byzantine Empire, or what scholars call the Dark Ages. I don't even got that image, but we don't have it. But the image that we usually carry out here, it shows like the coats of arms, black images, okay, of Israelites that ruled during the Byzantine Empire. In Germany, Russia, Ukraine, Spain, all over Europe. Stop cutting us off. I'm talking to her. Stop cutting us off.
When you're saying something,
Man.
you're talking to me too.
Respectful. Let's be respectful.
Right? There's no letter J's. According to the Bible, our Lord's name is Yahweh Shai, a dark-skinned man. There's no E's in the Hebrew. There's no U's in the Hebrew. So when you go back into the which I don't want to jump around, but Joshua, you know Joshua?
Yes.
His name in the Hebrew, Moses changed Joshua's name from Hosea, which
Yeah.
means deliverer. Correct me if I'm wrong, brother. Yeah, Hosea, which means
With an H.
how. Yeah, right. But it was how in the Hebrew you'll say Hawashai, which means deliverer. Now, if you put a Yah in front of it, it means he delivers. So Moses changed his name to Joshua. Our Lord, I actually got a I hope I got it on me. Oh, right here. When you go into, I'll just bring it out to edify the sister right here. When you bring it out, Acts chapter, or is it Hebrews? Let me give me some time to find it.
It's both. Acts chapter 7, verse 42.
Oh, okay. All right, let me find it.
Hebrews chapter 4, verse 8.
And Hebrews 4 and 8. Okay, let me find it. Okay. You see right here? I'll show you. Okay, this is a New Testament Hebrew and English. A New Testament in Hebrew and English. This is written in the Assyrian form of the Hebrew. All right, Assyrian form, which came way after this type of writing. This the Paleo or the Proto or the first language. Now it says here, they even tell you, his people, check this out. They even tell you in Acts, what's that, 8 and 45. 8 and 45. No, don't worry about it. And having received it in their turn, our fathers brought it in with Joshua upon dispossessing the nations who God drove out before our father until the time of David. It's talking about when we ran the Canaanites out of that land in order for us to get into that land of Canaan. It was called the land of Jebu or the land of Canaan before it was called the land of Israel.
The land of Jebu.
The Jebu, right.
So that's the
Hamites,
Jebusites.
Jebusites, which go back to the Africans, the modern day Africans. But here, if you understand the Hebrew, is Yah, Ha, Wa, Shai. When you put it all together, which means he delivers. So his people, you know, but this just be the Hebrew form of it. Okay? And it's written from right to left. Hebrew. Yahweh Shai, which means deliver. And this is the Father's name here in the Hebrew. Yahweh, which means he is it. So our Lord, what I'm saying is our Lord has the same name as Joshua, Salakia.
Yeah.
And also when you go into,
Deliver.
which means he delivers. When you go into Matthew 1 and 21, it says that he shall save his people from their sins. So that's Yahweh Shai's nomen omen. He delivers. So you can tie that in with Matthew 1 and 21. Yeah, you got it all.
When you read that verse in the KJV, it says Jesus is in Joshua because those names are interchangeable because they essentially have the same name. All right? But oh yeah, I'll bring it out. But this is just to back them up. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. Okay? For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. So it's prophecy, it's biblical prophecy that the Lord was going to grant us back our Paleo Hebrew, the original language that we used to speak before we was taken captive and started giving languages like Spanish and English.
Right, brothers, right. Not to cut you off, right? Because we discontinued from our heritage as Israelites. We were brought on cargo slave ships. We were brought to. A lot of people don't even know. Your people actually agreed that the so-called Puerto Ricans actually were here before Christmas Columbus. Your people wrote that.
Yeah, Taino.
The Taino, I believe Taino means brave Lord. There is Israel.
And it was not San Juan. It was Borique.
Boricua,
And we are
okay.
Boricuas.
Boricua, right, and it also means
we
brave
spoke
Lord,
Taino.
right?
And they took it from us.
Right.
The Spaniards
The Spaniards
raped
did.
us.
The Spaniards
And that's
raped.
why we speak
The
Spanish.
Spaniards were
That's
cutting.
not our
Yes.
language.
Look what the Spaniards were
I
doing.
know my history.
The Spaniards-
That's not my language. It's Taino. I don't know it.
The Spaniards were cutting the stomachs open of the Puerto Rican women, of the women.
Yes, they're horrible.
And you know that's in the Bible? We can show you all that. That was going to happen to their people. We can show you that. But one thing at a time. We finish.
I read it again. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. So this is an end time prophecy. During the last days, the Lord was going to grant the Israelites the Paleo Hebrew language again because we have lost it. Okay, and you know that because if you just read the chapters and read the context, it's going into how the Lord is going to gather all the nations to the valley of Yahweh Shabbat. Or in King James it says Jerusalem. Okay, and that pure language we know is the Paleo Hebrew because that's the language of the heavens. That's
What's
the language.
the house? The house to fuck.
Oh,
Yahweh.
the valley of Jerusalem.
can break it down.
Yeah, it's going into World War III. How the Lord is going to gather all these nations.
Oh, what he was saying earlier, and set them up against them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because the
All
Bible,
the crimes that they committed against
the
us.
Bible talks about Satan casting out Satan. Satan just simply means men. Satan means adversary, but they are men. Excuse me. Satan means adversary, but they are men on this earth. And their people are Satan.
Right.
They're enemies to everything. Life, animals, creation,
Right.
everything.
Scripture
Family.
say Esau is the most violent, base in the earth. There's no more warning. Grab it. Hebrews chapter 12.
Hebrews 12 and also too Job 30.
Right.
It talks about his people going into the mountains, getting ran out during the time of the dark ages when we rule, getting pushed into the mountains.
That's where
why
the Caucasus,
exactly.
Caucasus
I was about to say that.
The
I was
Caucasus
about to say
Mountains.
that.
That's where they come from.
Exactly.
That's
I was
where
about
y'all
to
come
say that.
from.
The caucus.
The Caucasus
you see
Mountains.
like-
That's
you see
where
like on the job
Caucasian comes from.
application?
Lack of pigmentation.
Exactly. Your people going back to Esau because
Yes.
Esau came out red.
Yes.
Nobody came out looking like your people.
Yeah.
A lack of pigmentation.
Twins.
Exactly. Jacob and
And he
Esau.
grabbed him
You
by
took the words
by
out of my
foot.
mouth.
Yeah.
I like it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna read it again. One more point on it. For then will I turn to the people of pure language. And we understand that pure language is the Paleo Hebrew. Because that's the language that the angels speak. That's the language that our Lord himself spoke
May I
to
say
Paul
something?
in the book of Acts.
Let him break it down. Stop
Yeah.
interrupting.
In the book of Acts, our Lord spoke to Paul. He said, Paul, why persecutest thou me? In the Hebrew tongue.
I'm thinking of that one too.
Yeah, so that's the language of the heavens. So the Most High granted us the Paleo Hebrew so that we can call upon his real name. Like the brother was breaking down, his real name is Yahweh Shai. It's not Jesus. It's Yahweh Shai. And the Heavenly Father's real name is Yahweh. So those are names you have to call on. Those are names that have power behind it. When you pray, you gotta pray in those names. Okay?
In order for you to call yourself an Israelite, you gotta know the Lord's name. I'm not gonna have a woman and I don't even know her name. Like, or a woman that knows, she don't know my name. It doesn't make no sense.
Right.
Because, you gotta be in agreement with each other. Like a man and a woman, they're in union and league with each other. Same way with the Israelites. In order for us to call ourselves Israelites, we have to speak Hebrew. All right? Even Apostle Paul, there's a Bible verse that says the Apostle Paul called himself a Hebrew of the Hebrews. Okay? A Hebrew of the Hebrews. Now, in order for us to call on the Lord, we have to know his name. We have to. We can't keep calling him on a name that the slave or owner or our oppressors gave us to call on. We ain't gonna get nowhere. God don't listen to those cries.
That's the name that
No,
they gave.
the name Jesus, like I said, it's not Hebrew.
It's a
Because there
transliteration.
was
Yeah.
no J.
No.
There
Or
was
E's
no E.
or U's.
No, that's Greek.
J was just a recent invention. It used to be a letter I before the letter J.
So is it now Gregorian calendar that
We're in the
under?
Gregorian calendar.
And
yes.
it's all pagan.
It's all pagan.
And every holiday.
Prior to the Gregorian calendar was the Julian calendar, which
Right.
goes back to
And
his people.
I studied
You
that.
can't make this stuff up.
Paganistic
Oh, man.
that we're under right
Bring it
now.
out.
Everything's still around to this day. Monday, Friday.
Yeah,
freedom.
it's the days of the week. They're all Greek gods. Easter is the goddess of
The word Easter
fertility.
doesn't belong in
That's
the Bible.
That's the
Right.
ovum. I understand
right.
it.
That's
The
beautiful.
hair,
Right.
the hair is nocturnal. It's not a bunny.
Right.
It's a hair. It's nocturnal.
Right.
The poinsettia.
It goes
blood.
back to Ishtar, like
yeah.
woman worship. Go ahead,
Mhm. The droids. Jeremiah 10:11. The Christmas tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Described
That's in there.
perfectly.
Exactly,
Cut
exactly.
down the tree.
Exactly,
Fasten it with
exactly.
wood and nails so it will not totter. Decorated with gold and silver.
Okay, she's
Yeah.
right, she's right.
Psalms chapter 91.
And she came up with respect, not like you.
It is respect
She
because
came up
it's
with respect,
facts.
not like you. Go ahead.
I didn't come up with the
Psalms
without
chapter
respect. I
91,
wanted to
verse
hear.
14. Right? Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. So yeah, we want to make emphasis on knowing the name.
The name.
The correct name, right? Because the Lord said, if you know my name, I will deliver you in trouble. All right? And if you go into biblical prophecy, you understand that Jacob's trouble is around the corner. This society is about to collapse, according to Bible prophecy. So if you want to be protected during the collapse of society, then you should know the name of the Heavenly Father and his Son, his correct name. All right? Because if you're pulling on, if somebody calls you another name that's not your name, you're not gonna look, you're not gonna answer.
He says, "My sheep know my name, and another they
That's
will
right.
not follow."
That's right. So you got it. You got it.
Because sheep, they know they master. They know they shepherd. From everybody, that sheep know who his shepherd is.
That even though
Yeah. Go ahead. Somebody could grab Malachi 1:14 if they ain't got a precept. Now, the reason why I got the brother reading this verse is because you have a lot of Israelite camps. Well, I would say you do have the guys that were in front of Barclays Center.
Yeah.
The guys they're called the IUIC. They call themselves Israelites, but they don't like to call upon those Hebrew names.
Yeah.
Which also we could grab in the land of their captivity too. Oh,
I got that.
Now they will say Jesus, God, Most High, Christ, blessed. Which according to the Bible, like I told you, God is God. I told him before, God is a title. It's not even a name, and Jesus is not his name. So the IUIC, they don't call on God's name. They don't call on the Son's name in the Hebrew.
Because Emmanuel say
They say God. Emmanuel means to be God with us, right? But they call on God and Jesus. If they call themselves Israelites, they're supposed to be calling on the true names. Now, read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah 23.
And this is what they're doing to our people, to people that come up and they'll deceive you because you'll start believing, right? They can bring out about the slave ships, about who we are as a people, but they don't call upon the name of the Lord. And for salvation, you need that
You
name.
have to call upon the name
exactly.
of
You have
the
to call
Lord.
Yahweh Shai. Read it out.
Jeremiah 23, verse 26. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart.
No, the one that said that you get to my name.
Oh, no. I was going to get the...
Oh.
I was being on. I'm just going to break it down.
Okay. Just get to the point. I really got to know about it.
Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor.
Right. They think to cause my people to forget my name, meaning they're making our people forget the Lord's name. Because it says, now grab Baruch chapter 2, and you can start at like verse 30. It says, in the land of our captivity, we should remember the Lord's name. So what they're doing is, they're filleting the identity off you. That's what they're doing. It's like somebody wants to learn, but they'll never tell you the names. They'll tell you you're an Israelite. Right, they're like bypassing, like, nah,
Is
I
that the
can't.
purple and gold?
Exactly, the IUIC, right?
It's Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
In the land of our captivity, we shall remember ourselves. Like we said earlier, we discontinued from our heritage, like Jeremiah 17:4 said.
And this is
We
the land
we
of our
weren't speaking.
captivity.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. America,
And now we're gonna learn.
the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Brazil, you name it. So we should remember ourselves, right? And that's what we're doing now, calling ourselves Israelites. We can't make this stuff up because we fit so perfectly with the prophecy. We fit so perfect. It's like, oh, let's just go out and just like, let's go.
It's fact.
Because we could go to Revelation 8, the Bible prophesied in Ezekiel 37 that the Lord was going to raise up an army of Israelites. That's what it's talking about, an army. And we should remember ourselves, speak the Hebrew tongue. We should have teachers to teach us, and that's what's happening now.
There's more on this.
Yep.
Verse 31. And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity.
The heart can just simply mean your mind. The Hebrew word is loud. In the Hebrew, it's mind.
It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name.
That's what we're doing. And
That's
think upon my
that's
name, meaning
Babylon.
stop cutting us off. And think upon my name,
No,
meaning
listen.
oh man, Judges 5 and 11. I just started that. Okay, I'll mention it though. Hold on, don't jump to it. Judges 5 and 11 in the book of Judges says that we should rehearse the righteous acts. So when we think upon the Lord's name, we constantly call upon those names. What does it mean to rehearse? Over and over. So that's why we always start off camp on the how about Shimmy, I was shy. Matter of fact, let's do it. First and foremost, I know we were already like almost 2 hours in. We'd like to give all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Wahal, Rakah, Wadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of GMS, who are the true leaders of the nation of Israel in his last days, if you people could believe and receive it or not. All right? So you see us out here once again, but go into it.
So I read that again. It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name.
And that's what we're doing. We're thinking upon the Lord's name. You know what's crazy? These people call themselves Israelites and all that, but they never call upon the Lord's name.
Yeah, they don't use it.
Call upon
You
the
want
Lord all
to jump
the
to it
time.
up? I know.
My name is Steve Trevor.
Yeah,
Say
yeah,
the name.
yeah. Salak, y'all. I know this is
I know it.
all over the place.
We say it all the time in all our prayers.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
I know it. That's what we call him in our prayers.
You don't know him?
I said, no, I don't know it. We use the name. She said, we don't call upon his name.
That's a title, by the way.
Well, that's
Bring it
what
up.
we call him.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 14. But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male and voweth a sacrifice unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. And my name is dreadful among the heathen.
That's why your people don't call on the name, because you can't. You can't. No, you can't. What's his name?
I don't know. It's in
This
our
guy's
prayers.
worked up. That's
tell
what's
me
not a
something.
title. What's his name?
I don't know.
What's his name? What does his
Adonai.
name mean? What does Adonai mean?
The Lord Almighty.
That's a title. That's not a name.
Come on.
That's a title.
Come on.
Like if I,
No, that's not fair.
like if
Come
I
on,
say,
that's not fair.
like if I say
That's
Christ,
not
right?
fair.
Hold
That's
on.
not fair.
Like if I say Christ, it's not fair. You don't know the Bible. Like if I say Christ,
I don't know like you do.
what does Christ mean? Is it a name? Matter of fact, is it a name or a title? That's the question.
Give me
It's a
chance.
title. She's right.
Christ is the title.
And what does it mean?
It's Greek.
Okay, what is Christos? Greek, right? Where you get the crystal
Christos,
oil.
right.
Okay, what does it mean? It means anointing. The way you say it in Hebrew is Hamashiach,
Okay.
or Mashiach, or Hamashiach, the anointing.
Messiah, yes, right. Anointing.
By the way, the first Christians were called Hamashiach Yom, which is plural for more than one Israelite Christian. Christian just means to be a follower too. But you people don't know that. Well, you
I mean,
people
I
have
know
got,
that doesn't mean my people don't know
okay,
that.
bring it out.
Now, your people know a lot. Your elites of your people, the Rothschild, the Warbirds. The elites of your people, they know about us.
Yeah.
So the Warbirds, the Rothschilds.
That's
they're
the
everywhere.
banks, right?
Yeah, the banks.
That's the money.
Yep.
That's Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Yeah.
They're very aware of us.
Yeah, they know that.
Do you know Wall Street was totally Christian? Totally
Wall
Christian.
Street was a slave
And
auction
the old
block.
slaves.
Do you know that? Thank you for mentioning that. Do you know that?
Could be.
Back in the 1600s?
They got the African cemetery
No,
over there.
Yes, they do. Yep. The
Yeah.
burial.
The burial ground is there. And the Department of Education, I was a teacher. The Department of Education is founded from the Jews.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
She's
That's
right.
why all the holidays
your
are
school
acknowledged.
curriculums, your school system was
Okay.
founded by fake Jews.
Thank you.
Right. That's why scriptures say Amalek shall, the first of the nations shall perish forever. You're the first of the nations because you own the world.
It's all Judaism.
Hey, we could go into the history of Rutgers University.
I don't know.
How would people attend those colleges that your people own?
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes,
and the colleges were made to teach that white man how to keep them enslaved.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what the college was all
She's
about.
right. Look up the history. You go to
you.
Rutgers,
I
Princeton
know is I
University.
went-
Stop talking over us.
wait a second. Let
Princeton
me talk.
University.
Don't be rash.
What other college? Georgetown University. All slave owners.
That's it.
That's correct. They were.
That's
They were.
it.
Oh,
Who founded
okay.
it?
Bring
Who
it out,
founded
Doc.
Georgetown?
Hold on. Bring it out.
Who? My is Catholic. Georgetown's a Catholic
Edomites.
university.
Oh, you're right.
You got something? You got something?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Hosea chapter 1.
I was about to bring this up.
Hosea chapter 1 verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there should be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. And where is that place where it was said unto them that you are not my people? Here in America, Babylon the Great.
Beautiful precept, Doc.
All right. Going back to the curses, and back in Deuteronomy chapter 28, it says you shall be a proverb and a byword amongst the land of your enemies.
Meaning being called black, being called Puerto Rican,
Right.
being called spit,
Right.
being called Indian.
And back to the point what the brother said earlier, the true Israelites was going to discontinue from their heritage. Their people didn't discontinue from their heritage. We got all the records. I got all the records going back hundreds of years. All right.
Thousands. They do.
Right.
During the time of 70 AD, since you mentioned that, the water, during the time of 70 AD, Titus, Vespasian, and the Roman Edomites took our refuge. The elites of society know who we are. Know who we are. Every time we come out here, it strikes fear into them. It strikes fear.
Yeah. That's because
Your people are scared of
we represent the downfall of this kingdom. We represent the downfall of the Edomites kingdom. Let me read that again. It says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God. All right? That's why we got a heritage.
Listen, read about that. Stop cutting us off. It's very disrespectful. And I'm even giving, and you came back and we still dealing with you. Oh, we're really trying to sharpen the iron up, because you know what it is. Trying to be honest with you, it is.
Verse 11, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and thou shalt come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Who's that head? Read it again.
Verse 11, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Right, Jezreel means the seat of the power. Yahshua Island in the east. Okay? Now the Lord is, like we mentioned before, the Israelites, the Latinos, the Northern Kingdom, the Native Americans, the Northern Kingdom, the blacks, the Southern Kingdom, the Jamaicans, you name it, we're being gathered together. Where are all the tribes in that land? You can't say that all the tribes of Israel are in your land now. It doesn't exist. And that head point is talking about King David. Okay? Which you don't go back to. Right? The tabernacles of David. That's what you call the tabernacles of David. Us being restored to our former state. Because during the time of King David, when he ruled, all the tribes were together. All the tribes, during 40-year reign, during Solomon, 40-year reign, all the tribes were together until it split in 930 BC. Jeroboam and Rehoboam. Look, you ain't teaching us nothing, man. Stop playing with us. For real. Stop playing with us.
You. I'm
Stop playing with us,
admiring
man.
you.
Okay? Now, 930 BC is when the northern and southern kingdom split. Right? Jeroboam was acting all wild. He was worshiping what? Idols. Right? The golden calves. Not only one, but two. Passing the children through the fire.
Right.
Our people did that. That's why we discontinued from our heritage.
Yeah, that's why we went to slavery. That was the
During it.
That's why we went to slavery under your people. That was the Most High whooping our ass, basically.
I'm missing that.
It's actually right here.
I'm just missing.
I mean,
that
we read that
No.
too.
I'm just missing how we.
You understand what I'm saying? Where are all the tribes at? Since 1948
Yes.
was the birth of the Jewish state, as your people call it.
Yeah.
Where are the rest of the tribes?
12 tribes.
Stop playing. Where are the rest of the tribes?
Fine, you're very
I'm
bright.
asking you.
Well, don't
I'm
call
asking
me
you.
play.
You're trying to flip it on us. They don't exist in that
Tell us,
land.
tell us, we
And,
wanna know.
and prophecy says that the Lord, when He places in that land, we're not going to separate or be split into two kingdoms any longer.
You know,
You know, all the Israelites will be still called a Judah, Benjamin, right? But we're going to be all together in our land. After this place is destroyed by ICBMs.
That's a good point.
And King David is going to be in the kingdom, and our Lord Yahweh Shah, which is a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, he's going to be in the kingdom, ruling over your people and the rest of this and the heat, and the rest of the heat.
You already read Amos 9 and 12.
Yeah, Amos 9 and 12. You
That's
read
right,
Numbers
huh?
chapter
Yep.
24.
That's right.
I got another precept.
Bring it out.
It's Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
He's got it. I actually had him hold it, but
Oh,
you
yeah,
got it now.
okay,
Bring it
okay.
out.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33.
That proves what I said to you.
No.
Oh no, you listen to me.
Listen.
No, you
Let's
no,
make
you
the
listen to
No,
me. No, you
Stop
listen to
listening.
me. I've been listening to you.
Stop
Now you
listening.
listen to me.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
come on,
after
listen to
this.
me. Come on, listen to me.
After this. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse
The Bible
33.
says we've come to minister, not to be ministered unto. We're not listening to you. Go ahead.
Right.
I'm not ministering.
Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were
Look.
oppressed together.
You see the sign right here? The children of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, all right, the Native Americans, What did your people do to the Native Americans? Wasn't it Thanksgiving Day a few days ago?
Ooh, what?
Thanksgiving Day a few days ago.
Yeah, what
Do
happened?
you know the history behind that? Well, you know the history. Stop playing.
Puritans did it.
All right,
I don't
the-
know
the
anything
sem-
about it.
They go back to Esau. The Reubenites, the Seminole Indians, go back to Reuben. Naphtali, so-called Argentinians. Asher, so-called Brazilians, Colombians. Issachar, so-called Mexicans. We fit Bible prophecy. That's why we can boldly say who we're those people.
That's why we can come out of the scriptures and prove our claim. If I could read this and make a point.
Look it up.
Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And if you get the context of this chapter, Jeremiah is prophesying about the future Babylon, which is pertained to in Revelation. Okay, that Babylon the Great. Mystery Babylon the Great.
No.
This is not talking
No.
about ancient
Yes, yes,
Babylon.
yes, yes.
It's not talking about
This is a
ancient Babylon.
prophecy going into the future Babylon that will have
Beautiful,
No,
over
he's
the
talking
world.
about that one. He's talking about Babylon.
No,
I
he's
can
not.
prove it. Yes,
he
No,
is.
he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's talking about here in America.
No, he's talking
Because
about.
back
Let me
then,
prove it.
Jeremiah knew we were Israelites.
No,
So
no.
how can that be?
Exactly.
How did
the children-
Jeremiah
and
know
If
you
all the Israelites knew who we were back then, how can that be talking about ancient Babylon if we all knew who we were? We had a record.
Wait a minute,
Until during the time of the Persian Empire with Ezra. Don't get cute here.
Wait a minute.
I know that stuff.
No, hold on.
Go
The
ahead,
nation, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom at that time already had split.
Exactly.
They already had split. The northern kingdom wasn't even in the Babylonian captivity. But no, let me.
The
let me
northern king, like the
No, 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 no,
beautiful
no.
point I
No,
said,
no,
what
no.
you saying, that's
some
beautiful.
Of the people,
I
Northern
didn't figure it out.
kingdom came down to
No, but
Jerusalem.
let me prove how you're wrong.
figured it out.
Let me prove how you're wrong. If you just jump to verse 40, this is the same chapter. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 40. As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. That's how we know it's not talking about ancient Babylon, because people still live in ancient Babylon today.
Check out
That's
the
over there.
population.
Exactly.
So,
And that's over there in what? Iraq?
Iraq.
Iraq is
Iraq,
ancient
Mesopotamia,
Babylon.
right.
So that's
Urban
how we know
captives
that's
around
talking
there.
about future Babylon, because he said he's going to destroy it, how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed through fire, and that no man was going to live there again. People still live there today.
so what is he talking about?
So what's going to happen?
Mr.
here?
Know-it-all,
What's going to happen?
America is going to be destroyed. Russia is going to shoot off nuclear missiles towards America. Not only Russia, but America's allies. See,
Right.
what you don't know is that God controls every move they make.
Yeah.
Right?
God controls
According to the Bible, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right? No, you good. The king's hand is in the king's heart or mind is in the hand of the Lord. So nobody has free will. You coming up here, talking what you say, speaking like you're speaking, guess what? The Bible talks about that. The Most High prepares what you're going to say before you even come up here and talk. You think you came up here because on your own free will. There's no free will according to the Bible. Now, Iran, okay, China, Russia, God is going to put it in your mind to shoot off nuclear missiles to destroy America. Do you believe that? Well, you don't know. It's possible. It's very possible. And it's going to happen. That's a guarantee. We put a stamp of approval, a stamp on it.
Guess why it's going to happen? Because of what happened to the children of Israel. God chose the people. Scripture say you touch the children of Israel, you touch the apple of mine eye. The Most High has love for his people.
And then what's going to happen?
You're going into slavery.
You're going straight
Well,
into captivity.
the elites of your people are going to try to hide in underground bunkers. Right? Or try to hide it. That's why they built underground bunkers. Your people actually believe that you're going to come back and rebuild after this place is done.
Yeah.
You know that God hates you. There's something in your mind that sparks in your mind that God hates me. God hates me. And you, with that delusion that you have on you, that spirit you have on you, you actually convince yourself that no, that's not true. Well, you're delusional.
Wait a minute.
God said he should send you strong delusion that you should believe a lie. You're believing your own lie.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
The Most High who created everything didn't give you melanin. You stay in the sun too long. The Most High who created everything didn't even give you melanin. You stay in the sun for too long, you start to burn. How does nature itself hate you? You gotta think about these things because you're an Edomite. Go back into Genesis. Go back into Genesis. It talks about how Esau came out red all over. Why you come out red? Because your blood seeps through your skin because you have no pigmentation.
Also, it also goes back to how they were Cain. How Esau's Cain in the reincarnation because your people, God said he'll put a distinguishing mark on you.
Right.
A mark. to know exactly who the devil is, the mark of leprosy. That was that mark. To know who's ruling the earth now. What his characteristics. He's known as a crafty hunter. He puts drugs in the community. He builds prison systems for our people. That's all in the Bible. Or we're just making it up. We just learned all these things in one day. No.
What's that? What's
So
that?
you're talking about white people or Jews?
There's no such thing as white people. The term white was created in 1681. Look up the history. Your people are
I'm talking
known.
about today.
What does Edom mean in the Hebrew?
Me means Edom, E-D-O-M.
That's not what a meaning.
What does it mean?
What does it
What
mean?
does it mean?
It refers to the people who were
No,
against
the
the
meaning.
What does it mean?
Meaning.
We're asking you. It means red. The way you say it in Hebrew is
Red pottage.
Adawam.
Red pottage.
Red pottage, that's why your name, right, that's a nomen omen, because you ate that red pottage. Your people like eating uncooked meat, raw meat. That's why you got something in Israel, in America, also in America, called steak tartare. You know what that is.
Yeah, it didn't come from Israel.
But your people push that vibration out there.
No.
As Israelites, we're supposed to cook our meat thoroughly. You know that? That's in the laws, Leviticus.
Yes, I'm not saying it didn't come.
But it also goes back to idol worship too. It goes back to idol worship. But your people like eating raw meat.
Not too many.
The Puerto Rican, so-called Puerto Ricans,
Not
blacks,
too many.
Latinos, they're like, ugh, not unless they're Israelites, but like, ugh, I ain't eating that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, you got this.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. This is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, matter of fact, I'm going to start verse 38. Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing? My father bless me, even me also, O my father. So then Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
So you can imagine Esau. That's when he was supplanted by Jacob.
Right.
Because Jacob means, he don't even know that, but Jacob means just for edification's sake, for the camera's sake. Jacob means to supplant, or he supplants. Ya'ipwab in the Hebrew.
Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. This is the blessing that Isaac gave Jacob to Esau. I don't know if you're familiar with that blessing, but he gave Esau a blessing saying that he's going to have the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, meaning what? He's going to have rulership over the world.
Whiskers. When you go down, what's that, like 40 something street, they got like what you call like the Diamond District in that area. You know what I'm talking about? What's that called, that area?
Diamond District.
The Diamond District.
Diamond.
Who do you see around that area?
A lot of
Like,
Come on,
And
man.
Jews.
Nah, he's not liars. It's true. It's true.
Let
Just
me-
like the Koch Records, the music record label, Koch Records is owned by Jews. Koch Records.
touch.
Koch, the one that Jim Jones was part of. Koch Records. Jim Jones, the rapper.
Okay.
Your people put when you hear us talk about killing and shooting up the block, blah, 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 your people love hearing us talk about that. But when we call ourselves Israelites, or we're not allowed to call ourselves Israelites, but your people can. Your people, we ain't even finished reading Isaiah 2 before, but how there would be wars in the land.
that goes down lines up perfectly. Huh?
And good,
Verse 40. I'm going to read it, verse 39 again.
Of Isaiah?
No, Genesis chapter 29, verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Meaning what? Earth, having the rulership of the earth, controlling where the minerals go, controlling where the money goes, the currency, all of that. Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. And when you look at the history of the so-called white people, how did you obtain everything that you have today? By the sword, okay? By murder, violence, rape, and robbery, and everything under the heaven.
Religion.
Trickery, deceivery. That's how your people got the fatness of the earth. That goes back to the blessing that Isaac gave Esau, the Edomites.
that what the brother read there was a future prophecy that's already played out. Your people already got the clutch
Of the world.
But in fact, when you go into that word in Wikipedia, anti-Semitism, when you scroll down, right? When you look up anti-Semitism in Wikipedia, it shows a Rothschild, one of the Rothschilds, a cartoon figure, whatever, what they call that, like anime, whatever. But it shows like the Rothschild clutching on a globe
On Wikipedia.
on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That word anti-Semitism was only created in the 1800s
Right.
to defend the Zionist movement.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Because you had your
No,
people fighting
no,
other
no,
enemies.
no,
Like,
no.
Yes, it was.
I know
You
about
cut
it.
out.
You know about Jack? You know about
by the
Jack
way,
the Ripper?
the great, you know, the book of Isaiah?
No, London, right?
Yeah.
English.
Very great, the book of Isaiah. I digitized it, put it on the web. You can read it in English. You look at every
All right,
phrase.
What does that matter?
Yeah, get out of here.
No,
man.
no,
You
no.
lost, you lost, man.
From the
Come
time
on,
of Jesus.
Come on,
From the
man.
time of Jesus, young man. I got it done. Thanks a lot.
But hey, look, you're not a Jew. You're not a Jew. The Jews are dark skinned. We ain't even get into the color scripture. How you doing, son? All right? You ain't with anybody. You know, come up, respect. We show you respect. We're not respect of persons, but you know what I mean by that.
Spirit bear witness.
Bring it out.
You got some thought?
I had Isaiah 2 also.
Okay, but I know you wanted to go into the northern kingdom. This is just edification. Jeremiah 16 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
And that's talking about the second Exodus. Right? The Lord delivered us out of the land of the north, which the tribe of Judah, the southern kingdom, and the northern kingdom afflicted together.
Totally.
And the land of the north is America, of course.
Aliyah, right?
Aliyah.
Aliyah. Did you get the word for north?
Got you.
Now, take care, sister. All right?
Okay, you remember the Most High's name? It's Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai. We have a YouTube.
Go like to like Great Millstone. Great Millstone. We've been bombarded with false accusations. We do this, we do that, but people always don't come up against the truth. You know, this truth really didn't start with us. It came from the Heavenly Father, the Son, who gave us elders that work like us. You know, Great Millstone. Hebrew Israelites. So sometimes when you go online on YouTube, they'll try to demonize what they'll do. As soon as you type it in on the MP search engine, they'll say black Hebrew Israelites. Because that's what the white man labels us as black. Clearly, none of us here look black too, or dark skin. Because you're gonna have Israelites that look like our nations too, but they'll demonize. If you go on the search engine. Black Israelites, all these guys, you know, just to demonize. Just to try to hide.
That's not it.
Right.
It's the great Millstone.
Great Millstone. Right, but what I'm saying is when you search it, they'll try to demonize. Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to throw your mind off of the exactly.
And there's a school, there's a temple, there's somewhere. that you
Well,
gather
the word church, we're doing it now. The word church,
to assemble.
the Greek, exactly means that. And that's
Fail
what the book-
not to
That's
assemble
beautiful.
thyself.
You reminded me that the word Ecclesiastes means to assemble. That's where you get the Greek word ecclesia, which means to assemble, or church, which means to call out.
understand
So the Lord
suffix
called
and
us
prefix
exactly.
and-
So the Lord called us out here to the streets, commanded by Yahweh Shai.
Cry loud.
Right,
Set the
spirit,
trumpet
exactly.
to thy mouth.
Exactly. And the
got
trumpet
you.
is speaking His word.
Okay.
That's right.
Great Millstone.
Or so you know what you do? Type in Great Millstone, the names of the Lord and the Son.
I got
It should
you.
pop up.
All right. How, let me take because I studied a lot, and the more I study, the more trouble I have with the church. That I know they college based, they know it. They know the paganism, they understand the tree, they understand it all. How can you let that infiltrate and you don't set it apart because of maybe the tithe, the offering,
Right.
the congregation.
Right, but when it comes
and
to-
I'm like, where am I gonna find some people that stand up for the fact? I really raised my kids like that.
What's here? The exact
Of course.
That because he said, take away from me the noise.
Exactly.
Of your,
Yeah. I know you're talking
holidays.
about.
I hate your
Yeah.
holidays.
The
he
Most High
said.
says, I hate your
I
feast
hate
days.
your, I hate them. So
Right.
I looked up hate. And he only uses it several times in the
Right.
Bible.
Right.
So when I went to the
You know,
library,
one time he did
American
use it?
folklore,
When he said, I hate Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I
I
hated.
hate it.
So really the Most High hates these Edomites. about it.
Yeah, she heard.
He says study to make thyself
Approved.
a workman. A workman,
Needed not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. Yeah.
you gotta rightly divide because they use the word against.
Right. Well, the scriptures say that the God of this world has blinded the minds of them that believe not. The God of this world are the Edomites. So when it comes to Christianity and Islam, even the Muslims, they love when our people smoking loosies, walking around with their pants sagging, and they love when our people on a down state. Right? That's why I say that Hosea 4 makes it. No, the scriptures say to bear the cross means to bear the reproach and shame. No, of course, he died on the tree. The scripture says, curse the seed who hangs on the tree. Right, but the cross simply means bearing the cross simply means us suffering for his name's sake. Not wearing a rosary beads around your neck.
They make that an idol.
Exactly.
They make a lot of short anything. Eyes that don't see, feet that don't walk.
Right.
And one more thing, sister, don't tell people about it though. Just keep it to yourself. Don't be like telling people at work or where you go. Just say that you wise and certain. Tell them themselves. Don't be bringing it out to everyone, you know?
I did, and I just suffered persecution big time for bringing it out.
Lord will forgive you, have mercy. Moving forward, you know better than you know.
Yeah, they told me that you could do better. I said, I don't think I'm better. I just know better.
Exactly.
You know? And he told me, pray, don't be praying.
Right.
A&E.
That's a beautiful saying. Pray, don't be praying. Bring out a pizza. Right.
Oh, so Sluggy, do you want to go into the Northern Kingdom?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I mean, I can read the Jeremiah 16 that I had already.
See these tribes here? They came to America to focus on performance. You can get that too if you want to know.
No. Always be right here.
I did that.
Probably won't be out here, but
I respect it, though. I've been, you know,
right, you're Israelite.
yeah, I've been on, well, I ain't gonna say I know the truth. I don't know if I really know all the truth.
Lord willing, the Most High got mercy for you, you know? We even pray for mercy. We even pray for deliverance. Not pray for that, right?
Like the people in the West, I go to church and tell them I am the church.
He's actually right about that because we all call you outside, right? You know, even though those are right. Never know he's part of the 1/3, but go ahead. You good, man?
It says, so I'm going to read it again. Jeremiah 16 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it should no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he has driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
There you go. The preachers. We didn't grab that, right? Amos 9 and 11.
Yeah,
We did, right? Oh yeah, Con. The breaches are being closed up, meaning the Lord bringing the tribes together, the Latinos, the natives, so-called black, together. Israelite foreigners, yes, a lot. I forget to mention the Israelite foreigners. The Israelite foreigners, who their seed line goes back to one of these men on the sign or one of these tribes, and they can actually even look like other nations. You know, they can actually look like pale, having a form of leprosy, blonde hair, blue eyes. So you're gonna have Israelites that look like all nations. And we ain't taking that hope away from these Israelite foreigners. We're telling you there's hope for you. No matter how you look, we're telling you there's hope for you if you're an Israelite. You have to be from that bloodline. Right? Yahushua came to die for that bloodline, not for non-Israelites.
Yeah.
And also,
obviously afterwards get the word out.
Oh yeah, I'm slacking.
Don't worry.
I grabbed it right now.
No, don't forget about your other book.
Yes, CBS. You know where CBS is, right?
I just want to get a good point. If you read on down, they'll say something like, I'm in this land. Yeah.
Wow.
You look that up.
What you talking about? Lexicon?
Yeah. It should be in there. It should say ominous or strange land or something like that. I remember reading about it a while back. Which teacher was that again? Now?
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14 and 15.
Gross darkness that covered the earth. It's gloomy.
Right. It is a gloomy ass.
Yeah, I see it.
It's just black.
Yeah, I see it. So, this is the Hebrew word for north is Safon, or Safon. It's a lot of things if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It says northward of the north of direction, right? But when you grab the lexicon, it says the hidden, the dark. The hidden in the dark land. So,
No, it's just that's an ominous man.
No, it's true because one of the synonyms for ominous, I'm looking in the dictionary, dark, black, gloomy, ugly, direful, dire, gloomy, forbidding. Yeah, it's forbidden to us, that's the right word, right? Forbidden for us to call ourselves Israelites in this land. Right? It goes back to the scripture in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, that our enemies seen our dead bodies. You know, they didn't heal us. They didn't give us, give us our nationality. They didn't teach us our nationality, but they taught you were black, you were Latino.
I found it.
All right.
So, I think it's actually, so it looks like
What is it? Whip. Just do the best I don't know.
when you look at Strong's definition, right?
Sometimes that nah,
I think the nah is wrong.
yeah, the nah, that might be a Y, right?
Yeah, I think
The Y.
Yeah.
The Zappa one. We could be wrong, but go ahead. You got it.
And you see here, this is Strong's definition, properly hidden, dark, use only the earth, north quarter that's gloomy and unknown, right? This brother's gloomy land. This brother brought out ominous. Right? Like the, I'm not sure if you read, I think you only read gloomy and dark. So yeah, it's a gloomy land. Gloomy, dark land. You know, like this is the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah. Come. I got a precept.
Died in the moment.
What's that? Job 10 and 22, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, no, go ahead. You can read.
You said Job 10?
10 and like 22. And there's another one that says that gross darkness have covered the earth.
Job chapter 10 and verse 21.
And the only lights here in America are Times Square, Reno, Nevada, Las Vegas. This place is dark. You know what I mean, being sarcastic.
Right.
Which really ain't. We're the light of the world.
That's ironic.
That's being sarcastic.
All these lights, and look at how dark and how depressing these places, man. You got suicide rates that are high. You know, you got people that have a wife for like 20, 30 years and they living in their car. Society's all the way off, man.
You can tell by just looking at the moral of the society.
Right.
The morale of the society. It's at an all-time low. You got people fighting for the right of child pedophilia. I believe they call it child. I think it's CAP. Child. It's a lot.
You talk about child protection, or you talking
Attractive.
about?
It's child.
Minor attractive.
Minor attractive. Minor attractive persons. Yeah. So when you look at stuff like that, you just see that the morale of the society is low. Super low.
You know why I said persons? Because they want to be gender neutral. Women too.
Well,
men that want to be like women.
Well, look, you still got Epstein Island.
Exactly.
But yeah, really, Epstein Island. You know, Epstein's a...
What scripture say? Woe to them that put light for darkness and darkness for light.
Yep.
And that's exactly what this place does. Right? Woe to them that sow unrighteous degrees. Another cut to Job chapter 10 verse 21. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, where the light is as darkness. That's the spirit. I literally just said that.
There's no order here in America. Everything is dark, gloomy, pitch black.
work it. You pretty much just work until you can't work no more. Man.
Right.
You work until you get too old to work, or you get injured.
Yep.
You just like bedridden or some shit. You know, the food gives you cancer. Everything is with it. But actually, I'm looking at it.
No, what do you want?
I think it's is it Micah? This place is polluted.
Right, I got you. This is Micah. Nah, you got it. This is Micah. You can break it down. Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise he and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a short destruction.
Hey, that's right, that's right. Rise ye and depart. This is a scripture that we always bring out, brothers across various camps all over. You know, not to depart in a little sense, because you got people coming out now saying, you know, you got to go all the way back to Africa, so, you know, bullshit like that. You know, Africa's going to get nuked too, of course, because of certain nations in Africa that deal with Russia, like Libya. I believe we're going to Ezekiel 38.
Yep.
God. You know,
It's going up to Gulf of Mexico.
Exactly.
Turkey, Tacoma.
This place, meaning here in America and all these other places as well, they're not your rest. And the word rest means like your mental rest. All right, you're not supposed to be a place you want to lay down and make children here and settle down. You know,
That's right. And also, right, they sure they have received the consolation.
That's right.
There's a lot of Israelites have received the rest here.
right.
But also, to make a brief mention, we go to Jeremiah 17:4, when the Lord told Jeremiah, he should discontinue from his heritage.
Sure.
When you go into that word heritage, it could also mean the land. It could also mean the land, not calling ourselves, also losing the names, not knowing the names of the Heavenly Father in Yahushua. So when the brother brought out Zephaniah 3 and 9, that pure language that was speaking, that was the Paleo Hebrew. So the Most High restored to us the days of many, you know, that lost, that time when we fell away. We're showing what? 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Right. Of course, we can't bring out every precept, but
this place is polluted, you know, by its actions, things they tell you to do. You know, the holidays all come from heathenism. That go from fertility cults back in the ancient world, Babylonian, Kemetic mystery school system. Yeah, they are.
you see how they
Yeah,
stop.
it's like the damn demons, man, all of them. You know,
That's the heathen. You know it's crazy? Since Revelation 11 talks about that. Great fear fell upon them that saw them. Or either they're in like an amazement, like, oh my God.
smiling.
Yeah, smiling and giggling or some little, you know, weird shit.
But it says in Jeremiah too, for the heathen what our evil neighbor.
You are the infamy of the people.
The scriptures also say we shall get fame in the land. You know, and that word fame does not have to mean fame in a good sense. We do have fame in a good sense amongst the brotherhood.
Being demonized. Let's talk about
We
being
also have
demonized too.
infamy as well, exactly. We have infamy. We're infamous among the people. They say that Grave Millstone is a rapist and that we're, you know, camp of pedophiles is complete bullshit. How you have a camp of pedophiles, man? That's bullshit.
Why we ain't in prison?
Oh, we in prison.
Right. You would have put Amalek would have put us under the chest.
Well, being carried away.
Exactly. And then even with that, right, Hamlet, he's a hypocrite because he do that stuff all the time.
Actually, yeah, let's make a few points on Ezekiel 37 because we were supposed to start out camp with Ezekiel 37. Another precepts. Jeremiah, what's that? I had it yeah, but about the shot. Start off with the two sticks being joined together because it's going to be too much if you start from the top.
He just wouldn't stop.
I had Daniel 9 and 7, Tobit 13, 1 through 3, Jeremiah 32 and 33, 2 Kings 17, 1 Kings 11, Jeremiah 30 verse 1 through 3. A lot, but hey, we can't bring it all out.
Call it out. I gotta grab whatever you want.
Go.
I think we should definitely get to 2 Kings 17.
Okay, all right. Hey, let's do it. Let's bring it out. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Whatever.
Set it front. Let's set it front.
I'll get to the point. Ezekiel 37 verse 15, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions, and take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them onto one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand.
And that's what you see here. know, it's important for brothers to come out with the 12 tribe sign. Whether even if you don't got it on wood, but you get the point. You come out there with the sign, and this right here, that's how a lot of brothers came into the truth, by looking at the sign. They be like, they stand on the other side, like, yeah. Or the Negroes go back to, oh, Judah, oh, and you know, when they get interested, they start studying, they start growing in this thing, and they become part of the camp eventually. Right. So, meaning this is talking about in Ezekiel, this was a prophecy that Ezekiel didn't know it was really talking about now. Now we know because the scripture say knowledge shall increase. So the prophecy of us coming together, the tabernacles of David and the breaches being sealed up. Right, seamless, not having gaps or holes in it. Right? So yeah.
But the word for wood plank right here, right, is G6086, and it's Itaza. It's tree, wood, timber, stock, plank, right? Which we have right here. This is a plank. You know, that's pretty much the point.
So we're fulfilling prophecy by even being out here.
Right. Carry that plank.
Right. Also proving that we are the children of Israel. Because who else is doing that?
Nobody.
Nobody else is doing that.
Nobody. You don't see these fake Jews being gathered together. They're not. Because they're not the people of the Bible. But that's a prophecy that was told to Ezekiel. All right. And also, when you jump to verse 1 or a few verses, it says that we ain't got to go into it, but the valley, it talks about the valley being in a low state here in America, not having an identity, not having the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai.
And when you look at it, when you look at a picture of a valley, it's like in between two high places. And when you look at this town, this Edomite structure, these wicked ass buildings that he likes to build, what are we in right now? We're literally in a valley.
Right. That's right. That's a good point the brother made. Right. It's like we're being cornered off. It's like there's so many buildings around and you feel like this emptiness. Well, not brothers in the truth, the Wadi Abba Hashem Shah for giving us the understanding. But you can see our people, the condition our people are in. Right. They like walk around. They have they travel, they got nowhere to go, and that's in the curses.
They got that always me spirit.
You have no rest for the soles of your feet. You won't have no rest for the soles of your feet. But yeah, so that's what that's talking about. The Most High bringing us together, and the chapter is deep. You can get into the whole thing, but we're trying to make it as brief as possible.
So Uncle Shacklebird is going to leave, you know?
Yeah.
Big brother Shacklebird just didn't want to go home.
Now, if the brother could grab 1 Kings 11.
Yep. Start at 29, right?
Yeah, if you want to grab 2 Samuel 5, 1 through 5.
So what's he going to do?
Yeah.
It's 1 Kings chapter.
Nah, go ahead. I see like
1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 29. And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahijah, the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field.
So the prophet was about to break down Jeroboam because he was going off being a wicked nigga. He was going off and Most High sent Ahijah the prophet to go tell Abraham, that was a slip up, to go tell Jeroboam what was about to go down.
Done. Verse 30, and Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent
Jeroboam, right? Jeroboam.
Shilon. Oh, yeah, Jeroboam.
I'll just make sure.
Verse 30, and Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces.
Now, brothers can look up the timeline if they want. We're not going to go into all of that. But brothers can look up the timeline, you know.
Verse 31.
Of Jeroboam and Rehoboam.
Verse 31, and he said to Jeroboam, take the 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the power of Israel, behold, I will rend out the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee.
Right, so the reason why the Most High took the kingdom from Solomon, when you go to 1 Kings, actually no, that's in the same chapter, 1 Kings 11, is because Solomon, not because he was popular, the concubine women, or had concubines, it's because he was going off. That's why the Most High got pissed off at Solomon. So that led to the point of, Solomon going off, the Jeroboam going off, the Israelites worshiping the golden calf, that Jeroboam had erected, right? Erected. That Jeroboam had already. That's in Solomon that Jeroboam had already.
You said we're going to possess the remnant and eat them. We think we're just going to have the woman play patty cake with them, or we're going to pop them? You'll pop them.
Right, right,
You know, take them, we're going to have sex with them, you know?
right. Verse 32. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake. And for
Right, and that was for
Jerusalem.
the tribe of Judah. But we know Benjamin afterwards, I believe they joined. There's like a fighting going on, or they joined. I gotta go back.
I thought it was Levi. Didn't they kick Levi out?
See, and
No, Jeroboam kicked Levi out of the priesthood. But I believe Benjamin was joined to, that's how they collectively, they were known as the Jews.
Oh, God.
Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
God. Levi came in.
And don't forget, Levi was always amongst the other tribes, remember?
Right.
So, but just to make it simple, just to break it down simply, or simple, Jeroboam was given the north, the 10 tribes.
But he shall, verse 32, but he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel.
Right, that was it on that. You could go to 2 Samuel.
This book of 2 Samuel, chapter 5, verse 1. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone in thy flesh. That's right. There's many times where the scriptures talk about that. Laban. Verse 2. Also in time past, when Saul was king over us, thou was he that ledest us and brought us in Israel. And the Lord said to thee, Thou shalt be my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel. So all the elders of Israel came to the king of Hebron, and King David made a league with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months.
That was the city of Judah, Hebron.
That's right. And in Jerusalem, he reigned 33 years over all Israel and Judah.
So when King David
I'm trying to figure out what the hell
was
is wrong with
king,
those people.
all the tribes were under King David. There wasn't no such thing as a split. We weren't split at that time. All right, so that's what that prophecy Ahijah broke down to Jeroboam. This was going to happen. I'm going to take the kingdom away from Solomon, and I'm going to give you the 10 tribes. All right, so, now go to the one I asked you about, Bible shot.
1 Kings 11, 41, 42.
Yeah.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 41.
Now, so David reigned 40 years, right?
And the rest of the acts of Solomon and all that he did in his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon? And the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, his father. And Rehoboam, his son, reigned in his stead.
When it says he reigned over Jerusalem, meaning he reigned over all the tribes. Because during the time of Solomon, he reigned over all the tribes as well. So you see that 40-year reign with his father, King David, and a 40-year reign with Solomon, his son. So all the tribes were together. So when you go into Ezekiel, because Ezekiel knew he was an Israelite. He knew he was an Israelite. He knew what tribe he was from. I forget what tribe Ezekiel was from. We ain't got to go into all that. But that was for future reference. It was a future prophecy that's playing out now. All right, it's a future prophecy that's playing out now. My Bible shot, somebody grab Isaiah 11, then we go to like 2 Kings 17, just for a quick set. You can start like at verse 11 to like 13. All these tribes coming together, right? The southern and northern kingdom, the so-called Latinos, blacks, the natives.
This is Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
Now we know that happened during the time of the apostles. Israelite farmers were being gathered, right? But there were still prophecies that had to play out, like us going on cargo slave ships, having a yoke of iron. What else? I'm coming here to the Americas. The northern kingdom coming over here to the Americas. Astaroth. How do you say Astaroth, right? Astaroth. Right. So there had to be prophecies to be played out. World War III, well, it still ain't happened, but things still had to be to play out.
Where's Austria, by the way?
Osherith means
Oh, Arsher. Oh,
Arsherith.
I
You know,
think he said
yeah.
us. I think he said us. Like it.
Another land.
Another land. I think he
Another
said
land.
us.
And when you go into the Jewish
Yeah,
encyclopedia, they actually say
I
that
actually
it's
wanted
the-
you to
it's
grab
North
that too.
America.
I actually wanted you to grab that. But not yet, but we good.
I thought you said like something else like Ashtaroth or something.
Not that guy. Not
No,
Astario, Ishtar. Not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I think it's something else. You know how people are worshiping that stuff here in America today.
Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
That's what's happening now. Gather together the dispersed of Judah, because you know, hey, you don't even know. Judah could look like any one of these nations. Right? They could be Judites. They look like any one of these nations. But the Most High is bringing all the tribes together. And that's why it says that when you read verse, when you finish reading.
Verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart.
Now, Ephraim represents the 10 tribes. Well, yeah, Ephraim represents the northern kingdom.
Yeah.
Because when you can tie it in with, what's that, Revelation 7? I believe Joseph, but Joseph is interchangeable with Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom.
And that goes back to what we were just reading about Jeroboam.
Yeah.
Tries to be under him.
Yeah.
So that's Ephraim. When it talks about Joseph, it just means
Ephraim, right.
12 tribes. Also, Ephraim got the bigger blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh.
They ended up getting a bigger blessing.
Bigger blessing.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not vex. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
And that's talking about the brothers that are faithfully doing the works.
That's right.
Faithfully coming out here, giving your body a living sacrifice.
Right. Because when you go into the history, after the split, there was wars between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. You see, so they at that time they was envying each other and vexing each other. You see, they had strife between one another. Okay, but now through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Shai, we're actually able to come together again through the word. All right, this word is gathering the elect from every tribe. Okay, and so the blacks is made in Native Americans. All right,
Gathered by the word, the apocrypha. We got a precept for you, what? I believe it's, what's that, Baruch 4, right? At the end, like the last few verses. Again, Baruch, gathered by the word. Just for a quick precept.
Right, so that strife that we had during history, that strife that we had after the breakup, it was going to cease. All right? And through Yahweh Shai, we was going to actually have that brotherly love again. Okay?
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, who thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High.
So we fell away from our heritage. All right? Pursuant to Jeremiah 17:4, 2 Thessalonians, we fell away from our heritage. We came through the word of the Lord. We're going to be gathered together. All right? And it says from the west. What side is that? What is that west? That's over here in North America, in the Western Hemisphere. All right, so we're fulfilling prophecy by being out here. Okay, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly,
Also, we read about Isaiah, the 11th chapter, that really starts with us right now. You know, that enmity even between Judah and Ephraim. You know, so between us, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, there's no hatred between us. We're all the northern kingdom. We have love for each other. We read the Pauline scriptures. We're all good to that.
You got brothers out there in Colombia right now, the Northern Kingdom. You got brothers out there in like all the major cities of the Latin tribe. We're talking about the Northern Kingdom.
South America as well, Bolivia,
Ecuador, Peru,
Mexico.
Tijuana.
You see? And like the point that the brother made, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of because the people, our nation of this world that's still in this world, still vex and envy each other. You see that through different gangs. Okay, you got the Latin Kings, all these different type of gangs. That have beef within each other. One whole time we're all a part of the same nation. We're all the children of Israel. So that's why Amalek and Esau right? That's why they don't want us claiming our heritage, because they understand that it's going to bring unity to our nation. It's going to uplift our nation.
You know, it reminds me too of the book of Ezra, how the heathens try to stop us from building.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
How they try to stop us from building, and they try to frustrate the council. Right? Because they're not a part of it. So they try to be like, man, damn these Israelites. Damn these Israelites. It's like the white man here, Esau, you know, and other nations, they don't want us to build.
Right.
You know, the Elamite dude came up and said, you have to keep it. These people don't know that, you know what I mean, there's a time to raise your voice. If there's a time to edit, there's a balance to this thing. But these people don't know. You're just going to come up here and say something. But back in the brother, Deuteronomy 28 and 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
So that's a part of the curses. All right, our people that's not in this truth, the rest of our nation that don't want to accept this world, they still got those curses on them, and you see that playing out in our very neighborhoods. All right, which is why you got our nation killing each other off. That all goes back to the curses according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Also showing who are the children of Israel are. Also another piece of the people we are. Okay, and it says what the husband shall depart from the children. All right, isn't that a stereotype on the tribe of Judah? That we don't know our dads, even the northern kingdom, all the tribes really. But that's a big stereotype of the tribe of Judah. All right.
That's that. Is that in the curses?
Yeah, we just read it. Just read it.
Oh, my bad.
No, yeah.
I'll read it again. My bad.
Come.
My bad. That was a slip up. Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Exactly. And that's a part of the curses, which is why the majority of the Israelites growing up in single-parent households. And that's just the fact of the matter. See, me personal testimony, I never even saw my father. I don't even know how he looks. He can walk past the camp right now, and I wouldn't even know who he is. And that goes back to the curses. All right, and that's why this word resonated with me so much.
I think the brother Yeshai is like that.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, my father was like that too. He never knew his father. He had like photos, but he never seen them.
Exactly. That all goes back to the curses, showing that we the children of Israel.
Right.
All right.
I got another one for you.
I'll say it too. On another side, the Lord made the woman very wicked too. Some men they didn't even want to be with the woman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Certain cases, you know.
I got you. I got you. Y'all break it down. It says here, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
Perfectly in those curses. Perfectly. When you even look at the statistics and look at the different ethnicities and who grows up in single-parent households the most, it's us. So those blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. Okay?
God also got the welfare system too, you know.
Exactly, I was gonna say that.
You know, that Issa has set up where you can't have a man in the house. You get those government handouts.
Planned Parenthood, Harvard singers, goes back to the fake Jews.
You know, and then over time, so-called letting our people get a leg up in the society, making them go to college, this made everything worse. Now women be like 30, and then they have their first kid, you know, and it just goes downhill from
Wait a
there.
minute, there's a statistic also saying too that if your girl has a college degree, there's a 90% chance that she's going to leave you.
That's funny as shit, but hey, that's a fact. Those are facts.
That's a fact, because they got all that pride thing, because they got to,
That's the power that Esau gave us. Like,
Exactly. Go. No, break it
that's
down,
the power. That's the power that the serpent gave him. That goes all the way back to the garden.
That's right.
Okay, Esau gave him that power deliberately to what? To separate the households. What's that in the Apocrypha? It says when a man raises his son up well, it
grieveth the enemy.
That's right.
I got other precepts for you brothers. Let's bring them out. Lamentations 4:3. Even the sea monsters draw up the breast. They give suck to the young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness.
What proves that? You can just look at the abortion protests. You got women of our nation actually protesting and fighting for the right to commit murder and to destroy their own nation. Scriptures say what? That the Leviathan, right, the sea creatures treat their young ones better than our women treat us. And that goes back to the curses. It goes back to the curses.
Second Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be offset out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. You got it.
Those little GMO babies. Okay? That's those little drill rappers. All right, those dudes that promote nothing but wickedness and violence in our community. I got one.
I got enough.
Go.
No, go. Bring it up.
Yeah, because I was gonna get this precept to talk about Leviathan. Max, you get your precept on first.
I got another.
I guess we can't talk right now.
That's also going to the performance, right?
Oh yeah, come on.
Yeah.
There's other precepts that go into that too. I think the second Esdras talked about the age of like 9 or like 10 months shall speak.
Yeah.
That's also talking about that too. Like
One time.
yeah. Like,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
later, like the technology premature. Yeah, premature. Yeah. But I mean, I think that one was saying that babies that come out later than they're supposed to. Well, couldn't be right.
Yeah, we go. Yeah,
This is talking about the form babies. You want to go first?
Go one more. Just Job chapter 14 and verse 1. You can break it down now. Man that is born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble.
So yeah, when you born, what does Scripture say? Curses the day that I was born.
Yeah, Job said it, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like you're born into a curse as an Israelite man.
Right.
You're born into a curse. You're born under oppression.
Right.
All right, you're born in. And also, you're born in this corruptible flesh, chains of darkness, subject to sin. See?
That's why the scripture says when a woman came to the beginning of sin. Right. That's why these young niggas out here acting wild. Why? Because the mothers are raising them. Telling them to go sell some drugs, putting drugs in their hand. Like Tupac, he always talk about his mother. Mother. I say he really ain't really talk about his dad like that. That's why he has songs like Dear Mama. Mama was a queen.
Ain't not supposed to be like that. It's good to talk about, being a child, obeying your parents. You can live long, so the Lord don't kill you. If you're being wicked, right? But you're not supposed to be worshiping your parents, man. If your mama say take the chip, you say no, and then you walk away. The Lord's gonna set all that up for us. But to go back into that, right? About even the sea monster draw out the breast, right? This is gonna talk about Leviathan. Joel 41:1. His thou drawest out Leviathan with the hook, or his tongue with the cord, which thou lettest down, like he fish out Leviathan. Of course, Leviathan is a very powerful creature, right? Verse, skip down, right? Verse 8. Lay thine hand upon them, remember the battle, do no more. Pretty much Leviathan's gonna kill you instantly, man.
Remember the battle, do no more, meaning just give up.
Just give up. Give up, you're gonna die. So even when they say even the sea monsters draw out the breast, even an animal that's this violent, just kill you like that, even that animal has the compassion to care for his children. But our women, they don't have the compassion to care for their children.
Right. And what proves that? What's that song called? What? Baby Daddy Free? BDF?
Oh shit.
Like Eve,
All kinds of
boldly
songs.
rapping about committing murder. Committing murder and killing her fetus.
That's right.
That goes back into the what's that? Moloch, the worship of
Yeah.
Dumping Jerusalem, Gehenna.
Come.
It's to sacrifice. The Southern Kingdom used to sacrifice the children to Moloch. That's what abortion is equivalent to.
That's right. Today, that's the at the Bohemian Grove, all these elites get together. They have an owl where they put like a mock human kind of like effigy, and like in like kind of like the bottom of the owl, and they burn it up, and they like do like satanic incantations.
And what proves that? What the brother said that abortion is witchcraft. What do they do with the fetus? What does Esau does with the fetus? He put it in different vaccines. Yup. He put it in different jabs.
Yeah, we're not trying to get the video yeeted up the internet,
Yeah.
You gotta.
And it's just so crazy. This is like, set it down.
I'll get the Second Kings for
17, and you can just read on down.
Gone.
Right, and also, I was gonna say something. We had Rehoboam was given the southern king, and Jeroboam was given the northern king. That's what I want to say.
Rehoboam was the southern, Jeroboam was the northern.
Which Rehoboam was Solomon's son.
That's right.
He came right before.
It's a lot. You got to bear with us too because it's a lot to bring out. So if we go into every little detail, every little nook and cranny, we're gonna be here for hours. So you got to bear with us. That's why I told the brother just to start in Ezekiel 37, right before he started at. It's too much. If we grab those precepts, we're gonna be all over the place. I believe, what's that, 21? They talked about Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, or the king of Assyria. About to start, you can grab the 13th chapter. I believe it's like around verse 40.
And we're just gonna look up 2 Kings 17, Shalmaneser.
It's a plethora of precepts. Hosea 1, Isaiah 56, Revelation.
Can I get a sword slot in my phone is dying? Have you grab a sword with me?
You need battery? You got your cord?
No, I don't got it on.
How much battery power you got left?
I got like 40. So I gave you your thing back. I put in your battery.
Oh, damn, I'm at 1% too. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Nah, that's good the brother mentioned that. Right, I got it.
Just the environment, the community.
What do you want first?
No, the one he got, the second thing.
There's some
Oh, God.
that
I
have
was looking for it.
association as well as
Yeah, you can charge the phone up afterwards. It's okay.
It comes up in like the third verse where it talks about Shalmaneser. Let's see. Actually, never mind. It was showing it.
Right here, around this area.
I'll
We're not going to go into all detail like the
Is
priests,
she the
the
friend or
Levites,
the
and
husband?
what was happening. Like this.
God. I'll take you one. 2 Kings 17, verse 4. And the king of Assyria thought of conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to Saul, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. This is we're going into what do you call it?
No, this is good. This is 100%. Y'all wanted to give the brother this one.
Don't say yes!
No, that's all of them are 100%. All of them are good.
I mean, I used to.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's why I use that one. It says, I don't want to like
Like it
stop.
looks- okay, all
Yeah,
right.
you know what I mean?
That has to, it's all good. You got it out. I'm at 2%. I hope it's going to turn off.
No, I won't.
Let's bring it out. You got to do it.
Right? And this king of Assyria is Shalmaneser the fifth when you look at it in history. And basically, Hosea the king was the king of Israel.
Last king of the northern kingdom, right?
That's right. King of the northern kingdom. He basically backstabbed him and was pretty much trying to do a conspiracy and work with Saul, king of Egypt, to turn against him. And that's why when we read on, this is what he did. Verse 5, right? Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. As they get all those siege ladders and siege the cities. Cities had walls, and they would surround the city and treat in and take it over. You can imagine they were fighting hard because it took them 3 years. Verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the city of the Medes.
So that's how the northern kingdom got to Assyria.
That's right. Still there to this day. Some of them.
But of course, our people are scattered.
Yeah, some are still there. I see brothers, they post videos like places like around the Medes, like Iran and that region,
Right,
and they'll be dancing and getting down. I'm like, that could be another kingdom.
Well, the scriptures say our people are like the speckled bird. Jeremiah 12 and 9.
That's right.
You're going to look like every nation.
I'll read on. Verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. All right, and you know all that about that entire account of Passover, while we still do the Passover.
Brother could bring out
You want a second as 13?
13 years. And you can break it down if you want. Our brothers got it.
Second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Okay, I was gonna say that. So yeah, Shalmaneser. Actually, I think Shalmaneser was just a title. So it could be Sargon.
But it was the kings of Assyria. When we say Salmaneser, the kings of Assyria, and also Sargon II.
Sargon II, because it says Shalmaneser the 50 started the siege, but he died midway through, and his son Sargon II,
Took over
he took over, and he finished the siege.
Is that just like with Vespasian? Titus finished the siege for Domitian.
That's right.
Domitian finished the siege. One of them, I believe it was Titus, because you have the archetypes.
I think it was Titus. And then that another land, that's not America. That's just meaning in Halal, Habor, around like that Mesopotamia region.
That's why the brother's gonna go into it.
That's right.
Verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Further country where never mankind dwelt. Where is that? That's Arsha. Here in America, the word Arsha, we break it down in Paleo Hebrew, it's Arataza Akarah. There's actually a scripture in Deuteronomy, we look at the word another land, they'll say the exact same word. You know? Yeah, there's a scripture like that. I can see if I could look it up for you. Let me see here. Another land.
And we don't have to sleep.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 29 and 28. This is the book of Deuteronomy 29, verse 29, verse 28. The Lord brought them out of their land in anger and in wrath and great indignation, and cast them into another land as it is this day. Basically, curse what the Lord said. What happened to us if we didn't obey it? It didn't happen. Cast them into another land. When we go into that word, another land, Deuteronomy 29 and 28, right? You look at that word, another land, right? That's Akaraf. When you look at it, it also says what I think is Akar, which just means another. And when you look at the word land, it's Aratazah. Right? We know that in Hebrew because it's similar to Spanish where it has a subject and a description. Like you say, it's a shirt that is blue, you say that in Spanish. So it'll be a land, Aratazah, Akaraf, which means another. That's where it comes from.
Also validating the Apocrypha.
Oh, say that?
Also, that's validating the Apocrypha.
That's right. That's what it is in the Hebrew.
Right. Second Ezra chapter 13 in verse 42, that they might keep keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High they shewed signs for them, and held still the flood until they would pass over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, in the same region as called Assyria.
Right. Now break it down. Starting with the first one.
I read again. Verse 42, that they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates River by the narrow places of the river. Right, so they took counsel among themselves after what the Babylonians took down to the Syrians, which gave them a gateway to leave that country.
Oh, shit, real?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's when they had, oh, God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they gave them a gateway to leave that land. And they did what? They took counsel among themselves and hey, we're going to go and keep the statues somewhere else, the Lord's statute of commandments, because we even went into the Syrian captivity in the first place because we forsook the commandments. Right. So we said, listen, we got to keep the commandments in this other land so we don't have to go into another captivity.
Yeah, that's right. And I want to add on too. It's one of the scriptures in Deuteronomy. Is it which one is it? I guess Zebulon talked about how they showed great confidence on the mountains. On the mountain, right? And that's what they did. I think Zebulon is the Mayans.
So but we're talking about Issachar too.
Issachar too. They were both.
They should dwell in Issachar should dwell in the tents.
Right. When they first came down here, they were actually doing right. Like Zebulon and Issachar, the Mayans and the Aztecs, they were actually using those mountains. They were actually using it on the right-hand side to give offerings to the Lord. But then over time, the people became corrupted.
Like we always did.
Like we always did.
We went off.
They started going off. They started doing things separate.
I got something for you. This argument, what's peace stand for? Argument, 5, from page 24 from
Yo, no pictures, yo.
the history.
Yo, devil. That
He's a devil.
He's
He's a devil. No, let him go. The history of the American Indians. The scripture said we should be a spectacle and a scorn. So the history of the
Tell Lawyer Udi. It's like,
that's all. The history of the American Indians by James Adair. Now James Adair, this place is fucking nuts. Now James Adair was around the Native Americans, and he's seen how they lived and the customs that they followed. Now, also, I don't know if I highlighted it, but I want to bring this out. One of them was this, in argument 5. It says the Indian language, which are you Gadites and also you Seminole Indians, which would be you so-called Native American Indians from the Northern Kingdom. The Indian language and dialects appear to have the very idiom and genius of the Hebrew. Their words and sentences are expressive, concise, emphatical, sonorous, and bold, and often both in letters and signification, synonymous with the Hebrew language. Of course, you gotta take the meat from the bone. It is a common and old remark that there is no language in which some Hebrew words are not to be found. Probably Hebrew was the first and only language. Showing you that the Native Americans spoke rough, it's a rough Hebrew, but also they called Yahweh Yahweh.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe they said Yahweh. Let's find that. Yahweh.
They also spoke the Paleo Hebrew originally, all the Northern. Like even Cuba, that name actually goes back to the Paleo Hebrew. I don't know how to break it down. It all goes back to the Paleo Hebrew because those lands, they had original names that they called them. It all goes back to the Hebrew.
Yahweh, Yohiwa. Yeah, for Yahweh. And right, but I can't find the page that I was looking for.
I think it's at the beginning where it talks about the names of the never mind.
But either way, we know that the Native Americans spoke some type of Hebrew.
Right.
All right, it might not have been the pure Laswan or the Laswan Qaddafi, but yet you get the picture. You fit with the description of being those Israelites.
read on to this. Verse 43, 2 Neges chapter 13, verse 43. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river, for the Most High then shew signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Hold on now. Go back and read the part with a year and a half.
Oh, Kanye, I was about to get to this. It's the next verse.
Right, the year and a half. But there's when Solomon sent Hiram once every 3 years. Yeah. I don't know if it's 1 Kings 5. It might be that.
So I'm gonna read it right now. Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. The same region is called Asher. So what? They left what? The Euphrates rivers, right? And the Most High kept still the floods. Kept being wet. He gave them like a smooth sail ride all the way to the western hemisphere of the world, to the South Americas, into Mexico and North America and those lands. He gave them a smooth sail ride because ultimately prophecy had to be played forth. All the children of Israel had to be on this side of the world. Okay, and then it took a year and a half because they went around the Horn of Africa. I wish I had the map, but they went around the Horn of Africa, and that year took a year and a half.
Yeah, we go also too, since he mentioned that, grab that precept, he could probably grab the one in the encyclopedia, the Jewish encyclopedia.
Oh yeah, all right.
This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 10 verse 22. For the king, talking about Solomon, had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver and apes and peacocks. What's important about the 3 years, right? Didn't it say once a year and a half to get there? Right? A year and a half to get there, plus some time to stay there, and a year and a half to get back.
And that's why you got to tie this precept in with the brother read in 2 Ezra 13 to get better understanding. You got it, all right? And also too, I was going to mention something too, the Olmecs. The Olmecs, right? The Olmecs. Now we know that Hiram, for those that don't know, Hiram and the Phoenicians, they go back to him, to the Hamites. And they came over here. Solomon commanded Hiram, and he commanded his men to come over here to bring like gold, the gold of Ophir, like animals, apes, peacocks, whatever. So they brought it back to Jerusalem. Right? So now, just go back. Right, so they brought it back to Jerusalem. So now it took a year and a half for them to get over here. And what they were doing, when they got here, they were like carving like the basalt stone into like the Olmecs. And it's crazy because I didn't bring the book with me, but it says there's a book called They Came Before Columbus. And it was an Edomite that was breaking it down. He said that the Olmecs all faced east. Why is that? Because the Hamites and every nation comes from the east. So they all face east.
Also could have been for directions.
For direction too. Exact, not the landmark. No, you're right, because when you read it, what's that? Genesis 49. The prophecy is Zebulun and
to go unto be unto Zidon.
To be a Zidon, right?
Unto Zidon, meaning those Zidonians. We had Phoenicians or Hamites.
Exactly.
It was like an ancient Google map. Obviously they had the Google Maps back then.
Just like now, you give somebody a landmark. Okay, look for the landmarks. I'm standing in such and such corner.
Yeah.
Look for a landmark, and you'll see me.
Yeah, look for McDonald's and turn left, and then
exactly.
Or look for